Hi, Tower Talk listeners. Thanks for tuning in once again. We wanted to touch base with you really quickly just because there's been so much turmoil in the market around trade wars and tariffs. Unless you live under a rock, you've seen the news, you've felt the effects, and you've maybe seen your account balances fluctuate up and down. So we wanted to touch base about what's going on there. The next thing we're going to talk about is specifically what's the plan that Donald Trump and his team in the United States have? What are they trying to achieve? Are they doing the best things they can to achieve that goal? And then finally, what are we doing to manage your accounts during this turmoil? So I'll start with just a couple stats. So the Toronto Stock Exchange, this is as of April 8th, is down year to date. That's from the end of 2024, 8.3%. The S&P 500, the 500 largest companies in the States, over the same time period, down 15%. So the S&P 500 is firmly in correction territory. But as I say this, I want you to know that markets today, when we're recording on April 9th, they just closed, and the S&P 500 did a 9.5% positive day, right?
One
So
day.
one day. It's the reason is Donald Trump announced a slight pause on the tariffs. Markets jumped up because of that. I've never seen the S&P 500 jump up that much in one day. Maybe Mark has. And I want to be clear,
I
in
remember the
terms,
down days. I remember the down days more
yeah,
than the up days.
they are always the
Anyway,
tougher
back
ones.
to you. Yeah, keep
Yeah.
going.
Our strategies at Tower here, they're in the negative post March 31. As of March 31, mostly in the positive, but after the tariffs were announced, many of you saw your account balances go down. It's always hard to see, but they are down less than the market as a whole. And that's the key. You're not feeling the full brunt of a negative 15% in the United States or the full brunt of a negative 8.3 in Canada. We're managing your accounts to account for that. Additionally, um, actually, you know what? I'll leave that for later. Why don't I pass it off to you, Mark? Talk about
Sure.
what's going on in the
So
States and tariffs.
overall, what you're saying is our strategies are holding up reasonably well.
Yes.
So what's going on with this tariff thing? Let me take a minute and say whether or not we're fans of what Donald Trump is doing. And I haven't met anybody who is yet,
Hmm.
but I can understand what he's doing. And that is there have been trade imbalances that his country has had to live with. Number two, there have been hurdles to exporting American goods like cars to countries where they charge 100% tariff on the new car that arrives. Like, why? What's in it? So I think what Trump is doing is saying, you want to treat us that way? We gonna treat you the same way.
Hmm.
So get used to it. Now, is that his end game? No, I don't think so. I think his end game is to bring it all back down to low or no tariffs. I do think that's where we're going. And I think that'll be 18 months from now, where trade agreements are made that make sense on both sides. And suddenly there will be a much freer trade around the world. Number two, what's going on in Canada? Well, this can be the best thing that has happened to Canada in a long time. Maybe it's at least decades, if not centuries, because we have this provincial entitlement, provincial rights, provincial trade barriers. It's easier for Albertans to trade with the US than it is with Quebec. Like, why?
Hmm.
If we want to be a stronger country, let's get our interprovincial trade. Let's build the pipelines, let's build the highways, let's build the railroads that we need to get our country on a good footing as well. So I think this will end up being very good for Canada. Third thing I want to say, and I didn't say this in the previous practice run with you, Terry. Why do markets always go up? Oh, you're going to say, well, they actually go down and up. Yes, but overall, the track is up. Why? It's because humans are ingenious and humans have a way of figuring out how to deal with the problems that are presented in the market. And human ingenuity will again solve whatever problems, even if Trump wants to introduce tariffs and they become permanent.
Yes.
Canadians will figure that out.
We'll adjust.
Vietnamese will figure it out.
Hmm.
Vietnamese will start shipping all their stuff to Canada. Canada will have a friendly deal with the US and we'll sneak it into the US. I don't know. But human beings are very clever. And that's why the markets do end up going up overall. Now, we've got three strategies. Tarek, talk about how we're doing what we're doing and then how it works together.
Absolutely. So the various strategies we have are designed to work together so that, in various market cycles, like we're seeing right now, when one is up, the other's down, they offset each other, they're complementary. What we're doing right now then is we are going to be rebalancing almost all client accounts in the next week. So what that means is we're going to be selling positions that are larger than they're supposed to be, as outlined in the documentation we sent to you. We're going to be buying positions that are smaller than they're supposed to be. And the benefit is we're going to be buying positions at a significant discount to what they were even 10 days ago. And that is the best way to align your account and set yourself up to take the best advantage or the most advantage of the inevitable recovery. As the market comes back, your account will enjoy the returns much more significantly in that situation. And so that's what we're doing. The other thing I would recommend, it's a little counterintuitive, but if you do have cash that you had on the sidelines, you're waiting to invest, or you recently came into some cash, you were wondering what to do with it, now is the time to put it into the market. It
Get it
it
in.
feels like, oh, things are crazy. I don't know if I want to do that. If you're investing for the long term and there's a bit of a correction, that is the time you want to invest. Um, yeah, that's all I would
And
say, and that's what we're doing.
so we've got these three strategies. There's momentum, value, and dividend. Elaine and I are in each. Um, and about 50% of our assets are in the momentum strategy. And half of the rest is in the value strategy, and half of the rest is in the dividend. Our overall holdings have held up really well as a family. And we would like you to think about that because momentum is kind of a really fast burner and does really well, especially when markets are doing well, because momentum does that. And then we rebalance it, rebalance it, rebalance it. But there are times when we get hit with stress points like this one, and suddenly the dividend yield strategy is looking really good, or the value strategy is looking not so bad. Anyway, we'd like you to think about that. And if you need to talk about it, just call Tarek, call me, and we'll talk about it with you and see what might work best for you in your situation.
Absolutely.
I think we're done.
I think so too.
All right. Thanks, everybody. Bye bye.
Talk to you later.